So let's talk brushes. Brushes are everything, right? And when you have a good quality brush, you're not dealing with, the shedding on your face. You're not dealing with the lines and the streaking. And when you're dealing with a good quality brush, you are really able to achieve the flawless look that you're going for. You're able to blend your colors seamlessly. So I'm going to go over every brush that we carry and what its job is to do. And I've always, been a firm believer in if you can make a brush do more than one job, then you're just getting more bang for your buck. There's no reason to buy, 1,000 different ones if you can make one brush do several different things. So I will first tell you what the job of the brush is, but then I'll tell you also what, I've learned to use it for. Okay, so first off, this is our buffing and blender brush. It's just a round shaped brush. It's really kind of firm. This is what I use for my foundation. It is a buffing brush, and I love it for my foundation because I can just swipe it in there and then I can stipple it on my face and it just buffs it out so perfect. This is probably, I do have about 5 of our brushes that are my absolute favorites. This is on the list. This is an amazing brush for your foundation, unless you're gonna be one that wants to use the Blenderful, and that's totally fine if that's how you do your foundation. Okay, so the next brush, and this is on my top of the list too, is our powder puffy brush. It's kind of thin so that you can do like this if you need to and really angle it for your contour. I use this brush, this is like an all over powder brush. I use this brush for my Perfect Press powder. I use it for my bronzer right here for my contour. I use it for my highlight, and I use it for my blush. So I actually have multiple uses for this brush. This brush makes it into my top 5. Okay, this one, I almost, at first I was like, yeah, I really don't see the need to have a dome-shaped powder brush like this until I started trying to do the Perfect Press powder under here. And then when I realized that it was textureless and, colorless, and it just goes so well under here, I was like, oh, yes. You need this brush to set your powder with under your eyes. This is absolutely amazing. I do love this brush. I'm sure you could have multiple uses for it. It's a great brush. Now, next would come this dome brush, and this is technically a shadow brush, and it could also be like a buffing and blending brush. I like it for my concealer actually, because it is like the same shape almost as this one. And so I have found that it goes into my concealer just perfect. And it helps me to do like this and do my little triangle and then just kind of stipple it all out. This brush works great for my concealer. Okay, this is our angled blush brush. Now, as I told you, I'm just a girl that's usually in a hurry doing my makeup, and so I use this brush, and I've found picking up one just to set all and everything does great. If you're the type of person that absolutely wants their angled blush brush, this is the brush for you. It will help you set it in here and go perfect up like this, or to start at the bottom and angle it straight down to the bottom. This brush actually could be used for everything that I use this one for. It could be used for your Perfect Press powder, it could be used for your bronzer, your blush, and your highlight. Okay, next is the foundation brush, and I didn't typically have a lot of use for this because I just don't use a foundation brush to put foundation on with. But I have found that after I put my concealer on and I get it all where I want it, I have found that I do like to press under here and kind of stipple it out with this. Stippling just means that you're flattening it so that there aren't any raised spots in it. But again, this job could be done with just a sponge or your Blenderful just to stipple that out. Now, if you are the type that works well with a foundation brush like this, totally use it. Use what you're familiar with. That's what I will tell people all the time. Put that foundation on with what you are used to putting foundation on with, because then you're going to be the happiest with the way that it goes on and the quickest with it. Okay, this brush makes it into my top 5. I had 2 brushes that were face brushes that were in my top 5 for the face. This one makes it into my top 5 for 2 reasons. Number 1, my brows, I can't do them without this. This little spoolie thing on the end is the perfect little brush to brush my brows into place, and then also to smooth out my line on top to make it look more natural. I brush through it after I've filled it in with powder or with pigment, and it is the perfect little brush that helps it look more natural. This is the other reason why it is my favorite. This is the best brush to dip into your pigment and just create a perfect line with, to underline your brow with. And then also it is so thin to the point where you could dip it into pigment and totally make single little hair strokes if you wanted to finish filling in your brow. It is the most amazing brow brush. I love it. This brush definitely makes it into my top 5. It is my number 4, and just because I'm going in order. This is the flat shaped eye brush that I use to put my all over cream transition color, not cream, texture, but cream color all over. And then I also use it to drop the color onto my lid because I love how it gets it so all over my lid. It's not smaller. It doesn't take a lot of time to do it. I love this pretty much deluxe shadow brush. This is definitely my other top 5. This is our dome shaped shadow brush, and it just, I have hooded eyes, so when I go down into my crease, this brush will just help me stay in my crease and find my crease every single time. So this is the perfect crease brush. But then not just that, it is an amazing blending brush. Like, I will go through here and I can just seamlessly blend my colors together. It is the perfect blending brush. So top 5 definitely. Okay, to finish off our brushes, we have an angled shadow brush like this. Just, really good for if you kind of don't want to deal with the crease brush. You can just go like this. And I have to find my crease, I have hooded eyes, so that the dome shape just works better for me. But that is the other use for this one. You could totally use the angle of it and just go up with it, and it's going to help you do a really nice crease. The other one would be like a liner brush, shader brush, and it's a little bit thicker than what you saw on the other brush. So sometimes I will totally go and finish filling in my brows with this one after I've underlined it with a thinner one, just because it gets more product in one spot. It's easier to work with. I also use this one to put my liner on with when I'm wearing pigment liners, like I did today, just kind of going underneath with them or on top. You can also spray it with our finishing spray and do the liners wet. So it's an amazing liner brush. You can also use it to smudge any other type of like waterproof liner that you're using or something. Okay, this is the other brush. This will help you get more of a smoky liner. If you would like, you can use it to smoke out the bottom part of it and give you a really smoky type liner. That is a really good purpose for this brush. These two would be like our lip brushes, or you could use this one for liner, regular liner. So this one would be a good, I don't know what you call it, a crooked lip liner, or eyeliner. And then this one would be just a really good lip color, because we do also carry palette lipsticks that can be applied with a brush. So that is the gist of it. Each brush can be purchased individually, or you can save yourself some money and order the whole kit of them if you would like. And I will be happy to give you prices on that if you so desire. So there's our brushes. Let me know if you need more help with them.